Hey boys and girls, another very quiet video, kids are asleep. So yeah, what the hell just happened? Honestly, the last week or so has just been nuts for Wonderland. So in this video I'm going to go through what I'm doing, Mim Fears, and Leave a Treasury. Right, let's do this. So, I guess the main news of the day is Sifu, the treasurer of Wonderland, is actually this dude, Michael Patrin, or Patrin, who is actually, his real name is, what's his name, Omar Danini. Basically, a fraud, and not just once, multiple frauds well over a decade, and that's just from what he's been caught and that we know of. So yeah, obviously, quite rightly so, Wonderland has plummeted in price. And will it recover? At the moment, no one knows. Everything's in a bit of a mess at the moment. So far, there has been progress. He's been booted off. It would be good to see Danny as the treasurer. Actually, in my opinion, I think Danny, despite being the founder, I think he should be the treasurer as well. He has way more smarts than anyone in DeFi, really. Well, he's well up there with, you know, he's probably one of the cleverest cookies in DeFi. So, yeah, I'd actually vote for Danny to be treasurer. So, yeah, obviously, if we look at Wrapped Memo over here, look at the daily chart. It's basically fallen off a cliff. And personally, I think it's got a long way to go before it finds a bottom. So I really do feel for those still in. Obviously, I mean, if you're ever curious of what I've been doing, I haven't done much for Wonderland for a fair while now. So if you look at the history, I've sidestepped a lot of it. But yeah, I've gone in and out a couple of times, but lost or missed out on most of the falling, but this little fall here did catch me out. I wasn't by the charts, so I think I lost about $1 million. No, at one point I was sort of $1.5 million down. Did a couple of trades, recovered a lot of it back, so I think all in all probably, I don't know, between 600 to 800k down from that, but yeah, hey ho. So moving forwards, it does look very bearish. One of the key things that I look out for is what's called a high test in a falling market, and a high test candle is basically, I mean, this green one here is literally the world's most perfect high test candle. So if you have to understand the mechanics behind the high test. What happens is at one point in time, this big candle was a big fat green bar, and it shows there's huge buying demand. But what happens is that it hits a very hard ceiling of sell orders, so much so that it actually pushes price down, and it then creates a bit of a momentum and sort of I wouldn't say a cascading effect, but an overt momentum to the downside, and therefore the market closes this candle with a very small body tool at the bottom of the body. It doesn't have to be red, the color is relevant. All that matters is the big wick like that, and I would say 8 times out of 10 you see a continuation. So this is just a continuation play. A lot of people look at these high tests and low tests the wrong way around. So for example, most people, especially if you taught yourself via Google, you'll be looking at this and go, oh yeah, it's a low test, right, it's a reversal candle. It's not. You will lose horrendous amounts of money if you treat this as a reversal indicator. No. You need to treat it as a continuation indicator. So I ignore those. It's that is a massive continuation indicator. So for example, if we have a look at Bitcoin, like the reason I've called so many correct moves with Bitcoin and Ether, etc., is one of them is high tests. So for example, here's a beautiful high test that I remember. That one there, if you have a look, it's that green one there. And so what happened is you have a bit of a falling market, green high test, and then further falling. And here's another one. If you look at this, another high test, further falling. Another high test, beautiful one here, right at just before the top of drop there. We then had another one here, further falling. We then had another big one here at 42. I definitely remember that, and I said that this is the high test that was going to push Bitcoin below 40, and it happened. Well, guess what's happening right now, folks? This big freaking fat high test candle, or very thin, I wouldn't say fat, thin. This is very bearish. So if you look at Ether right now, and I really hope you can hear me, look at that big high test over here. Yeah, and again we had another high test here. So yeah, it's not looking good. And when you look at some of the other no. Yeah, I can't talk about regulated assets because I'll be in trouble. Yeah, in fact, I must not talk about regulated assets. The reason I don't talk about stocks and stuff like that is that it's in the UK, it's illegal for me to give you my advice or my thoughts on a regulated asset. So indices, stocks, etc. So yeah, that's why typically I stick with crypto. So yeah, long story short, as we can see, the dollar index is rallying. I can say that. I'm literally just looking that, and look what's happened. It's pretty much followed my little line. So anything priced in the dollar is going to fall. So this, I have to be very careful what I say. Long story short, Bitcoin is going down, and if Bitcoin goes down, it's really due to stocks crashing. Everything will. So until stocks crash, find a base, and then start to recover, Bitcoin will do the same. As stocks crash, Bitcoin will crash. As stocks find a base and start to recover, so too will Bitcoin. When that happens, crypto will freaking moon. And I actually think 2022 is going to be incredibly prosperous. So, but not for the meantime. The other thing is, I was looking at some of the on-chain stuff. So if we look at, if we open up Glassnode, have a look at some of my little dashboards, Siam supply metrics. So the black line here, price is going down, but look at the number of addresses with non-zero balance. It's still growing. So remember, the only real value in crypto is network effects, and this is a good indicator of network effect that wallets are still increasing. We're starting to see a little bit of an outflow of Bitcoin from exchanges, which is good. This is positive. This just means Bitcoin's flowing from exchanges to cold wallets. So this is actually very bullish. So that's interesting. Whenever you get big green stuff, that means people are sending Bitcoin to the exchange so they can sell it. So what I really want to see is a continued increase of redness down here. That means we're then getting closer to a bottom. So that's that. Percent balance on all exchanges still pretty damn low. Nothing really major here. Activity. So this is really hash rate. Hash rate precedes price. Hash rate is still going up again. It's good. Leverage is pretty much flushed out from Bitcoin to a degree, but it's only slightly to the downside. But I don't put much weight on this chart at all. Adjusted SOP, yeah, it's not too bad. Influencers, move on. Top bottom alerts, yeah. So the stablecoin and oscillator, I think. So the SSR ratio, I think, is a pretty good bottoming indicator. I don't use it for anything else. But long story short, the level I look for is -2. So typically when this oscillator, so this orange line, so the dark line is the price of Bitcoin, the orange line is the oscillator. I tend to get a bit, I call it my bottoming, it's a bottoming signal in my opinion. So when this oscillator gets to -2, we tend to see good buying opportunities. So here last time it's -2, yeah, not bad buying opportunity. There was one more dip, but yeah, obviously not what every oscillator is 100% accurate. I mean here -2, good buying op. And the other times it was -2 here. That was a great opportunity before that rally. Here's another good time. Obviously it had a bit of a dip, so it's a bit of a lagging indicator, but still I think the way you should use the stablecoin, the SSR oscillator, is to do it when it's trending upwards because of that lag. So you're sort of phasing out that lag by looking at it once it starts to recover and go up a bit. Typically that's the best time to start buying. So here, as it starts going up, yeah, you're still going to get that last bit, but overall, if you started buying down here, you're quids in. And over here, we now just hit the -2 level. We've got a bit of a pump up at the moment, but I want to see a stronger rally before I call this a proper bottom. So that's good. Also, when we look at the Rodl ratio, it's actually my favourite topping indicator. We are nowhere near a high or a low. We're still sort of in a bit of a no man's land at the moment, but yeah. Also, when we're looking at check on chain, some of the other indicators I look at, I won't bore you. Nothing really's changed. I can't see anything really bearish. If you look at the Mayer multiples, we're getting into sort of nice buying territory over here. And the young, or the smart and dumb money, basically. You should only really be concerned when you have a contraction between smart money and dumb money. So when this starts contracting and these lines converge, that is when you know basically smart money is selling to dumb money. But at the moment, what we want to see is nice, leveling out like this, and then we'll be in for the races. So yeah, there's nothing really bearish. It's just looking at it on the charts, everything's a bit of a shit show really. So yeah, most DAOs are sort of crumbling and unwinding because of the high. They're basically just high APY themselves in the arse. So that's that. Let's open up TradingView again, open up Bitcoin. The other thing that we need to look at is a lot of people, pretty much everyone looks at Bitcoin on a linear chart, and I do too, because as a trader I want to know what everyone else is seeing. So that's why I look at this a lot. But also, for anything of an exponential nature, really you also need to maintain the logarithmic aspect. So in fact, let's get rid of that and open up a different one. I don't want to lose my doodles on that particular chart. So if we open up the Bitstamp one, and then go to the log chart, let's go to the weekly on the log, and then just zoom out. So this is the weekly chart. What the hell's happening here, folks? Frig all. It's just caterpillaring up this lovely base support. Has Bitcoin breached base support? No. Okay, we're still in a secular bull market. All we're in is a temporary bear market. By the way, this is literally most of Bitcoin's life here. So we are still in an exponential nature. The only thing that does concern me is this huge gaping double top. Yeah, so that is the weekly chart. So yeah, personally I'm sort of looking for really strong bounces on this support level, basically, because that's what markets do. They caterpillar up support levels until they breach, and then it's game over, other than the fake outs. But yeah, nothing is accurate in the market, so it's all about low risk, high probability outcome trades. And if the market were to stumble around here, this would then be a low risk, high probability outcome long opportunity. So yeah, they're just my little 2 pennies about that. Let's get out of the log, let's get back over here. Yeah, so I think that's it. What I'm doing, yeah, so literally what I'm doing, I'm just sat in stable coins at the moment. Now the thing is, a lot of people are worrying now that because Wonderland's falling, is Mem gonna fall? Well, the thing is, there's a huge firewall between Wonderland and Abracadabra and even Popsicle Finance. So Sifu only had access to the Wonderland treasury. So really what I want to see as a Wonderland investor, although I'm in the sidelines, I still consider myself an OMI, even though I haven't touched it since 950. What I would like to see is Sifu properly out, contracts migrated, or at least just firm assurances that Sifu has zero access to any of the wallets or old Trezors or whatever. Hell, just burn the Trezors that had access to. I don't give a shit. Just we need firm assurances that everything is clean. And yeah, so what's happening is that people are worrying that the whole ecosystem, or Danny's whole ecosystem, is going to go kaput, and therefore swapping MIM for freaking anything right now is is just ridiculous. You get absolutely slipped. I'll give you an example. If I just log in here, oh come on, here we go. Yeah, I'm getting slipped big time at the moment. Dex, if we just open up Trader Joe and we try and swap MIM for freaking anything USDT, let's just do 100 grand. So normally I could swap 100 grand for another stable coin without getting slipped too much, but look at the price impact on this once it wakes up. 1.13%, ridiculous. What about DAI? 2.57%. What about USDC? 1.78. Even if I tried the other USDC, it's completely irrelevant. Boom. And this is only $100,000, which for stablecoins is it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. So for me, it's actually it's pretty pointless trying to flop over into something else, because I'm going to end up paying thousands of dollars just to get into another stablecoin. So yeah, let's just get out of there. So first of all, let's close that, disconnect. Come on. Connected sites, let's get rid of them. And the lock. So yeah, they're my two thoughts. I think everything will stabilize. You'll see that Danny's done nothing wrong. I think in my own opinion, the only thing Danny's done wrong is not boot Sifu the moment he found out. If I was in charge of a project and I found out that my treasurer was a freaking fraudster, I would have booted him out the second I found out. But hey, that's just me. So here's something funny. There seems to be a whip. Wonderland improvement proposal for me to be the next treasury manager. It's amazing. So obviously only 39 voted. What are the results? Yeah, and I think it came around because someone tweeted me. Someone tweeted, sign for the treasury manager or something like that. And I just replied back saying, hey, I'm up for that, Danielle Sester. Fully doxed, great track record, never committed a crime in my life, wallet fully doxed, and have 0 skeletons in my closet. And I would do wonders with the treasury. And I sort of made that as a tongue-in-cheek. And yeah, seems to have, I don't know. I really didn't see this coming. So, being completely serious here, I would do wonders for the Wonderland treasury. However, I highly doubt this would ever come around. One, I doubt Danielle would even consider me. He's probably got way more better qualified contacts. And also I would probably only do this as long as there was certain risk mitigation procedures in place. I would probably try and come into this role with too many demands, being completely honest. For example, I would want the whole Wonderland team doxed. I don't want to work with doxed people. I don't want to work with anonymous people. This is one of the things that attracted me to Wonderland in the first place. Danielle was fully doxed. Everyone knows who he is. So if I was to come on as treasury manager, yes, we all know who Danny is. You all know who I am. But I don't want to work with anonymous people. For all we know, some of the devs could be criminals as well. So I would want that. If I also did this, there would need to be a third-party oversight committee, as I said here, did stringent monthly audits. Someone completely third-party. And also, although I would be the treasury manager, it would be more of a committee, because it's a lot of money. I wouldn't take that lightly. Playing with roughly $1 billion, it's lower now just because of asset prices have dropped. But playing around with $1 billion, it needs more than just one person going, "Ooh, I like the idea of plonking all this money into this project." It needs to be well thought out. And so and again, I don't pull my punches. I say what I think, and I think communication between project and frogs pretty poor, to be honest. Instead of random tweets here and there needs to be a proper proper Medium articles, or just it needs to be more formalized. But hey, that's part of the allure of Danielle. So yeah, and also there would have to be absolutely zero conflicts of interest on both sides. So personally, I see conflicts of interest already on my side, because I've got the Realistic Trader, I've got a couple of other businesses which would be conflicts of interest. So in order for me to do this, I would have to completely sell those companies and be completely removed from those companies or shut them down, and therefore the pay package would have to be worth me shutting or selling or shutting down all my main businesses. But yeah, I don't know, I doubt this would ever happen. But for those so Catalyst, for making this, thank you. And I guess it's probably going to be a lot more eyeballs on me. So this is interesting. If you type in Siam Kid Truth, I made this I've always got lots of trolls, and I made this originally in 2018. And I think, I guess I'm Marmite. I'm not here to make friends. I've got enough friends. I'm here just to tell the truth, or how I see the truth, that is. I like to think I use logic. Logic is my religion. So it was updated in May 2020, but I basically just lifted up my skirt and basically revealed everything. This is literally everything about my business life, everything from the generic things that you'll probably find about me. But yeah, I've got nothing to hide, and that's why I don't like anonymous people in DeFi projects. You've got nothing to hide, don't hide. Simple as that. Right, they're my 2 Doges worth. Right, I think it's time for Geek Club. I've seen a load of my mates starting to play Age of Empires. I need to get in on it. See ya.